Hi friends, welcome to my channel. Before going to the video, those who are not subscribed our channel, subscribe it and also click the bell button. In this video, we are going to see about network graphs. When all the elements in a network are replaced by lines, the configuration is called as network graph. An electrical network or circuit can be converted into its equivalent graph by short-circuiting the passive elements and voltage sources and open-circuiting the current sources. In an electric network or circuit, the nodes are called as vertices in graph. Similarly, the branches of an electrical network or circuit are called as edges in graph. The number of vertices or nodes present in a graph should be equal to the number of principal nodes present in the electric circuit. Similarly, the number of edges present in a graph should be less than or equal to the number of branches present in the electric circuit. Let us understand the network graph by using an example. Here the electric circuit consists of passive elements, that is resistors, and active sources, voltage source and current source. For network graph, we have to replace the passive elements and voltage sources by short circuit, and we have to open circuit the current source. This circuit has 4 nodes and 5 branches. The graph of the electric circuit is shown in figure 2. Here the numbers represent the nodes and the small alphabets represent the edges. Nodes are called as vertices in graph and branches are called as edges. This graph has 4 vertices and 4 edges. Since we are open circuiting the current source, one edge is less than the circuit. Branches. Next, complete graph. A complete graph is one that has only one edge between any pair of vertices for all combinations. If you see figure A, all combinations of vertices, that is 1, 2, 2, 3 and 3, 1 has only one edge between them. Hence it is a complete graph. If you see figure B, there is no branch or edge between nodes 2 and 3. Hence it is not a complete graph. Similarly, if you see the figure C, there is no edge or branch between nodes 1 and 3. Hence it is also not a complete graph. And if you see figure D, it is a complete graph because if you take any pair of nodes, there is at least one branch. There is one branch, hence it is a complete graph. So here figure A and D are complete graphs. Next, degree of node or vertex. The number of branches or edges incident on a vertex of the graph is called degree of vertex. Here, if you see the figure, the degree of vertex 1, that is node 1, is 2 since 2 number of branches are incident on it. And if you see the degree of vertex 2, it is 3 because 3 branches are incident on it. If you see the vertex 3, it has only one branch incident on it. So its degree is 1. Similarly, if you see vertex 4, 2 branches are incident on it. So its degree is 2. Next, types of graphs. There are 4 types of graphs. They are connected graph, unconnected graph, directed graph and undirected graph. First we will see about connected graph. If all the vertices of a graph are connected by at least one edge or branch, then it is called as connected graph. If you see the figure, here all the vertices, that is nodes, has at least one edge. So it is a connected graph. Next, unconnected graph. If all the vertices of a graph are not connected by at least one edge or branch, then it is called as an unconnected graph. If you see the figure, vertices 1, 2 and 3 are connected, but vertex 4 is not connected. It is an isolated node or vertex. Hence, this is an unconnected graph. Next, directed graph. If all the edges or branches of a graph are represented by arrows, then it is called as a directed graph. These arrows indicate the direction of current flowing through the branch. Hence, this graph is also called as oriented graph. Next, undirected graph. If all the edges or branches of a graph are not represented by arrows, then it is called as an undirected graph. Here, there are no current flows through the graph. This graph is also called as unoriented graph. Next, subgraph. A part of the graph with less number of edges or branches is called as a subgraph. It is the subset of the original graph. In the figure, if you see, it has 3 branches A, B and C and 3 nodes 1, 2 and 3. If you see the subgraph, it has only 2 branches A and B and it has all the 3 vertices. Next, tree. A tree is a subgraph of the original graph which connects all the vertices or nodes without forming any closed path. The branches of the tree are called as twigs. If you see the figure, the graph has 3 nodes and 3 branches A, B and C. And the tree has only 2 branches A and B and it has all the nodes 1, 2 and 3. Remember one thing, the tree should have all the nodes. The number of trees that can be formed from a complete graph is given by t is equal to n to the power n minus 2. Here n represents the number of nodes in the graph. Remember, this formula is valid only when the graph is complete graph. Then the number of twigs of a tree is given by, twigs are nothing but branches of the tree, is given by t is equal to n minus 1. Here also n represents the number of nodes in the graph. Next, chord tree. A chord tree is also a subgraph of the main graph which is left after removing the tree from the original graph. It is the complement of a tree. The branches of this chord tree are called as links or chords. If you see the graph, it has 3 nodes and 3 branches. And the second diagram is the tree which has all the 3 nodes and only 2 branches. And the third diagram is a chord tree which has the left out branch in the tree. That is branch C. Number of links or chords of a chord tree is given by L is equal to B minus N minus 1. Here B is the number of branches minus N is the number of nodes. N minus 1 is nothing but twigs of the tree, that is branches of the tree. So we get L is equal to B minus N plus 1. Next, remember this, the number of twigs in a graph is equal to the number of independent KCL equations or nodal equations. So this equation is equal to n minus 1. Similarly, the number of links in a graph is equal to the number of independent KVL equations or loop equations, that is L is equal to B minus N plus 1. Next, incidence matrix. The graph of the network can be represented by a matrix called incidence matrix. With the help of this matrix, we can draw the graph. The rows of the incident matrix represent the vertices or nodes of the graph. Similarly, the columns of the matrix represents the edges or branches of the graph. The entries of this matrix are -1, 0 and +1. In this matrix, for kth node or vertex, the outgoing edge or branch is given +1 value. Similarly, for kth node, the incoming edge or branch is given -1 value. Other edges or branches are given 0 value. In an incident matrix, if you see, the sum of elements in each column should be equal to 0. Next, important points to remember are the incident matrix can be applied to directed graph only, that is oriented graph. The rank of complete incident matrix is n-1. Here n is the number of nodes or vertices of the graph. The order of incident matrix is n cross b. N is the number of nodes and b is the branches or edges. The number of entries in a row apart from 0 tell us the number of edges linked to that node. This is called as the degree of that node or vertex. Next is reduced incidence matrix. The incidence matrix obtained by removing one of the rows is called as reduced incidence matrix. From a given reduced incidence matrix, we can draw the complete incidence matrix because by adding either +1, we know that the sum of each elements in the should be 0. Number of possible trees in the graph can be found from the reduced incident matrix by using the formula T is equal to determinant of A into A transpose. Here A is the reduced incident matrix. If you see the first figure, it is an oriented graph and it has 4 nodes and 5 branches. Hence the incidence matrix has 4 rows and 5 columns. For node 1, the branch A is away from the node, so +1 value is given. Similarly, branch E is also away from the node 1. Hence, it is also given +1 value. Other branches are not connected to node 1. Hence, they are given value 0. Similarly, for node 2, branch A is incident on node 2. Hence, it is given -1 value. Branch B is away from node 2. Hence, it is given +1 value. Similarly, branch D is incident on node 2. Hence, it is given -1 value. In the similar way, values are given for node 3 and node 4. The last figure is the reduced incident matrix. Here, the last row, that is 4th row, is removed. From this reduced incidence matrix, the incidence matrix can be found by simply adding either +1, 0 or -1, since all the elements in the column should be 0. Since the sum of all the elements in the column should be 0. Next is isomorphism. It is a property between two graphs so that both the graphs have the same incidence matrix. Next is cut-set matrix. A cut-set matrix is a minimal set of edges or branches of a connected graph such that the removal of these edges or branches causes the graph cut into exactly 2 parts. An important property of this matrix is that by restoring any of these branches, the cut-set graph should become connected. The orientation of the cut-set is same as that of the twig and that direction is taken as positive. The number of cuts is equal to the number of twigs in the tree, that is branches of the tree, which is equal to n-1. N represents the nodes of the graph. Next, steps to draw cut-set matrix. First, we have to draw the graph of given electrical circuit or network. Then we have to draw its tree. The branches of these tree are called as twigs. Each branch or twig of the tree will form an independent cut set. Next, cut the graph such that in each cut there is one twig and all others are chords or links. Write the matrix with rows as cut sets and columns as branches. The entries of these cut set matrix are -1, 0 and +1. The branch K in the cut set with orientation or direction same as that of the twig is given +1 value. Similarly, the branch K in the cut set with orientation, that is direction, opposite to that of twig is given -1 value. Branches that are not in the cut set are given 0 value. The first figure shows the graph with 4 nodes and 5 branches. First, we have to draw the tree of this graph. It is given in second figure. The tree has all the nodes and branches A, B and D. Now we have to draw the cut sets. The number of cut sets is equal to the number of branches of the tree, that is the twigs. Each cut set should have a twig and all others are links. If you see cut set C1, it has a twig A and other branches E are chords. Similarly, cut set C2 has twig B and chord C, and cut set C3 has twig D and chord E and C. The direction of cut set C1 is same as twig A. Similarly, the direction of cut set C2 is same as twig B. The direction of cut set C is same as twig D. Now, the cut set matrix can be drawn with cut sets as rows and branches or edge as columns. For C1, branches A and E has same direction as C1, so it is given +1 value. Other branches are given 0 value. Similarly, cut set C2, edge B has same direction as C2 and edge C has opposite direction to C2. So B is given +1 value and C is given -1 value. For cut set C3, branches C and E are opposite to C3, so they are given -1 value, and D is in the same direction as C3, so it is given +1 value. Others are 0. Next is tie set matrix. This matrix is also called as loop matrix. It is a matrix in which the loop currents and branch currents are tabulated. This matrix helps us to find out the branch currents in a circuit or network. Tie set is a set of branches contained in a loop such that each loop consists of a link or chord and the remaining are twigs. We can take the loop direction either as clockwise or anti-clockwise, but it should be same for all the loops. The number of loops is equal to the number of links or chords in a chord tree. That is, L is equal to B minus N plus 1. Here B is the number of branches and N is the number of nodes. The row in the tie set matrix represents the fundamental loop currents. Similarly, the column in the tie set matrix refers to the direction of current in branches. Next, steps to draw the tie set matrix. First, we have to draw the graph of the given network or circuit. Then from the graph, we have to draw its tree. After drawing the tree, we have to draw the chord tree. The branches of this chord tree are called as links. Each link or chord of the chord tree will form an independent loop. Draw the loops such that in each loop there is one link and all others are twigs, that is branches of tree. Now write down the matrix with rows as loops and columns as branches. The entries of this die-set matrix are also -1, 0, +1. A branch k in the loop with direction same as that of the loop is given +1 value. Similarly, a branch k in the loop with direction opposite to that of loop is given -1 value. All the other branches are given 0 value. Here the first figure shows the graph with 4 nodes and 6 branches. Here the loops are L1, L2 and L3. We have taken the clockwise direction for all the loops. The next figure is the tree with branches A, B and D. And the next figure is the chord tree with branches E, C and F. Only after drawing the tree we can draw the chord tree. So the number of branches of the chord tree are called links, that is E, C and F are called links. So the number of loops should be equal to these links. Now we shall draw the die-set matrix with loops as rows and branches as columns. For loop L1, branch A has same direction as the loop, so it is given +1 value, but branches D and E have opposite direction to that of loop 1. So they are given -1 value. All the other branches are given 0 value. Similarly, for loop 2, branch F has same direction as loop 2 and branches A and B as opposite direction that of loop 2. So they are given -1 value. Other values are 0. For loop 3, all the branches B, C and D have same direction as that of loop 3, hence they are given +1 value. All the other branches are given 0 value. Next, let us see the previous year's question. First question, an element between the two terminals of a network to which a connection can be made is called dash, while the branches of the tree are called dash. This question was asked in December 2014 and the options are: first one branch, 2 node, 3 twig, 4 loop. Choose the correct answer from the options given below. Option A 1 and 2, option B 1 and 3, option C 3 and 4, option D 2 and 4. We know that the element between two terminals of a network are called branches and the branches of tree are called twigs. So option B is correct. Second question. This question was asked in December 2015. It is assertion and reason type. First one, assertion. Cut set is that set of elements that dissociates two main portions of a network such that replacing any one element will destroy this property. Reason. It is always not possible to trace the path from one node to any other node by traveling along the tree branch only. Here assertion is true because cut set is the set of elements that divides the portion of the network into two, and if you replace any one element it will destroy this property. But reason is false because it is possible to trace the path from one node to any other node by traveling along the tree branch only. Next question. This question was asked in June 2019. The incident matrix of a graph is given below. The number of possible trees are option A 12, option B 11, option C D, option D 14. Answer is B. Here, by seeing the incidence matrix, we can be clear that it is a complete incidence matrix and it is not a reduced one because the sum of each element in the column is equal to 0. To find the number of possible trees, first we have to find the reduced incident matrix of the graph, which can be found by removing one of the rows of the given matrix. So A is equal to minus 1 0 1 1 minus 1 0 plus 1 minus 1 0 0 0 minus 1. After finding the A matrix, that is reduced incident matrix, we have to find the transpose of this matrix. Transpose can be found by replacing the rows as columns and columns as rows. Next, we have to multiply the matrix A and its transpose. A matrix is a 2 cross 6 matrix and A transpose is a 6 cross 2 matrix. So, its product will be 2 cross 2 matrix. The first element can be found by multiplying first row and first column, that is minus 1 into minus 1 plus 0 into 0 plus 1 into 1 plus 1 into 1 plus minus 1 into minus 1 plus 0, which we have as 4. Second element can be found by multiplying first row with second column. So minus 1 into plus 1, we have minus 1, and 0 into minus 1 0, 1 into 0 0, 1 into 0 0, minus 1 into 0 0, 0 into minus 1 0. So second element is minus 1. Similarly, third element can be found by multiplying second row and first column. So plus 1 into minus 1 minus 1, and all the other entries will be 0. Similarly, fourth element can be found by multiplying second row and second column, which is equal to 3. Now, number of possible trees can be found by finding the determinant of this matrix, that is the product of A into A transpose. We know that determinant can be found by multiplying 4 into 3 minus 1 into minus 1, which is 1. So 12 minus 1 is equal to 11. So the number of possible trees are 11. Next question. Consider the following statements regarding the complete incidence matrix A of order n cross B. This question was asked in December 2019. First one, the element Aij of matrix A is equal to 1 if branch J is associated with node I and the orientation is towards node I. Second one, the element Aij of matrix is equal to minus 1 if the branch J is the cut set I and the orientation coincide. Third one, the element Aij of matrix A is equal to 1 if the branch J is associated with node I, orientation is away from node I. Fourth one, the element Aij of A is equal to 0 if the branch J is not associated with node I. Choose the correct answer from the options given below. Option A 1 and 2, option B 2 and 3, option C 3 and 4, option D 4 and 1. Here the correct statements are: the element Aij of A is equal to 1 if the branch J is associated with the node I and the orientation, that is direction, is away from the node I. And fourth one, the element Aij of A is equal to 0 if the branch J is not associated with node I. So option C is correct. Next question, which of the following statements regarding tree are correct? This question was asked in November 2020. First one, all the links of a tree together does not constitute the complement of the corresponding tree. Second one, a connected subgraph of a connected graph is a tree if there exist n-1 nodes of the group. Third one, a connected subgraph of a connected graph is a tree if there exist many paths between any pair of nodes in it. Fourth one, the number of terminal nodes or n vertices of every tree are at least 2. Fifth one, every connected graph has at least one tree. Choose the correct answer from the options given below. A 1 and 2, B 2 and 3, C 2 and 4, D 4 and 5. Here the statement 4, the number of terminal nodes or n vertices of every tree are at least 2, is true, and statement 5, every connected graph has at least one tree. This statement is also true. So option D is correct. Thanks for watching the video. For more videos, don't forget to subscribe our channel.